All right, and welcome back to the Marvel Strike Force New Player Experience. This is a series of videos dedicated to brand new players in this game. When you first get into it, you never played this game before. There's so many different characters to upgrade. There's so many different modes to do. And you don't know where to use your resources, and you don't want to waste them. And you want to be efficient, and you want to be good at the game. So I'm going to try to help you save some resources and try not to waste anyone. So I tried to break it down. I did a video with every character in 10, 12 minutes, whatever it was. But it was a quick just yes or no. Like, yes, upgrade this. Don't, no, don't upgrade that. But I want to do a little bit more comprehensive view. So I broke it down by gear type. There's 5 different gear types, and it correlates into the raids. So this video is dedicated to Mutant. And this is a big one because there's a lot of good Mutant characters. So let's get into it. I got it sorted by Mutant already, and the first guy that pops up is good old Apocalypse. Apocalypse is amazing. He's a top 5 character in the game. He's absolutely incredible. It takes a little bit to get him. You got to get the horsemen. You got to do the scourges. You got to do all that kind of stuff. I have some more videos on that stuff on the easiest way to get them. I've seen from other content creators that started new accounts that you can get them in under 3 months now. Even before they did a rework to all the scourges and all that kind of stuff, it would have taken forever to get them, year plus years, whatever it was. So he's easy enough to get if you hard focus and you know what you're doing and you're watching the concrete creators and watching videos and all that good stuff. But Apocalypse, absolutely incredible. Do it, do it. Nightcrawler, a part of the mutant raid meta. For now, they're replacing 2 of the teams. I'm assuming Mutant will be the next, but by the next, I mean like months and months from now. By the time they're replaced, and Nightcrawler is the character that I believe will survive off of that team. I mean, the team's just a good team, the Extreme X-Men. So just build them anyway. But Nightcrawler is amazing. I put those diamonds on him myself. He's a good character. I'm going to be taking him into the highest levels of Dark Dimension. Good character. Go for it. Gambit on that extreme team as well, so build him up. He's a good character. He's not my personal favorite, like as you know, in the Marvel universe. I love Gambit, but he's a good character in this game. Definitely build him up. You're going to need him. Omega Red. There's going to be some debate on this. As a new player, I would not recommend building him up. I've always loved him. I've always thought he was amazing. So it's not like the worst thing to throw some resources into the guy. But and his basic, there's drain on his basic, so it's just amazing in Dark Dimensions. It doesn't matter how big their health pools are. His basic's going to drain 10% off of it, and then with a striker attack, he's going to get a second. Now he just cleared 20% of their health off. So I still love the guy, but as a new player, I have a hard time recommending to use your resources to bring him up big, considering there's other legendaries that are pretty good now. Sunfire is part of the Alpha Flight team that's currently being used in the Spotlight raids. We don't know how long these Spotlight raids are going to last, but it is a character they're going to give you free in that first strike, second strike, third strike, whatever thing early on in the game. And you can get into Spotlight fairly early and at least do a low percentage on a low level of it and get good rewards. So he's not the worst thing to build up. I'd actually bring him up. He's actually the power on that raid team. I think he's doing most of the damage on that team, at least in the raid. Miss Marvel Hardlight, I keep recommending not to build Secret Defenders or hinting not to, but it's such a good team. Just do it. Bring them up. It's a good team. They're going to be a good team for a while. So bring her up. Do it. Used to be arena meta back in the day, but not anymore. Namor is another one of those characters they give to you early on one of those first strike, second strike things, and he's amazing. He's the amount of power, the damage that he does, and he's Crucible meta for the moment. Not Apex meta anymore, but it's still a new Crucible team. It's part of the Cabal. There's 3 of them with Leader and Iron Patriot, and they're not going anywhere anytime soon. So build yourself a Namor. Forge again, Extreme X-Men. Bring them up. Do it. That team's going to be there for a little bit, and even past that, they'll still be decent. Firestar's part of the new Warriors. I brought her up because she does early damage on the team, But that new Warriors team is just fading. It's fading at Crucible. It's been fading for a while. I think they're 1 foot out the door. So don't waste your resources on it. Sunspot, just build them up high enough for that extreme team. Right, extreme. Yeah, he's extreme. There's so many Sunfire, Sunspot. Yeah, build him up for the extreme. You don't have to go too crazy on him. And the same thing with Cyclops, because the character right next to him actually replaces him in the raid. As soon as you get Old Man Logan, you'll be using him instead of Cyclops on the extreme team in the raids. Oh, Old Man Logan is just absolutely incredible. Forget Cyclops. I mean, build him up as much as you need to until you get Logan. But even my Logan at 5 yellow, 3 red is one of the best characters on my roster by a mile. He's beyond good. Get him as soon as you possibly can. There is a little trick to getting them, where if you build up your Spider Society, which they do give you early in this game, you build up a 1 million Spider Society, something like that. You could cheese it by doing difficulty 14 or 15, and just doing 1 node, and you can get a low unlock on them. Just to get him early on before you have the rest of your teams built to do that Scourge. But even at the star level, I got him. He's absolutely incredible. Wolverine, also part of that Alpha Flight team for the raid. Just build him up a little bit. He's a cheap character to build up, and they give him to you early on. So don't really stress it too much. Deadpool, excuse me. Deadpool. He's on the Mercs for Money team with Old Man Logan. You really don't I over-invested him because I knew he was getting a rework and he's got the movie coming out. I'm like, yeah, I'll jack him up real quick. And this is before the rest of the team was put out. My Mercs for Money team is like 1.8 million, and they punch into like 5 million teams in war. And it's not even like a bad 5 million team, like a Bifrost or something. Like this is I think last war I took out a 4 million Cabal Super Skrull Apocalypse team, and the whole team is Old Man Logan. Like Deadpool just keeps reviving as long as Old Man Logan's alive, and same thing with Panda Pool or whatever it is, and they just keep coming back. The whole team's Old Man Logan, so you really don't have to go high on Deadpool. This is an over investment as far as I'm concerned with the Mercs for Money team. North Star, bring him up. He's part of that Alpha Flight team, but he's plug and play everywhere. His kit's amazing. He does amazing things. I can't wait to get some more stars on him. He's a great character. Bring him up. Magneto's dead. He's on that strike team. The team with Archangel. They're dead now at this point. So don't bother. You don't have to build him. Rogue is an interesting one. When the Scourges first came around, Rogue was like the weakest horseman everyone thought, like the worst one out of all of them. Now she's got some of the best staying power because you really still can use her in meta in Crucible. So Rogue's not a bad character to take up. Again, I don't know about using dark promo credits, especially as free to play on a character like that. And same thing with Archangel, just build them up high enough to get Apocalypse. Like they're just, and you don't need 7-star Horsemen to get a 7-star Apocalypse. Remember that you need a certain gear level, you need a certain ISO level, but it doesn't say anything about star level. So remember that when you're doing the Scourges to get these Horsemen, and remember when you're powering them up. You can min your way through that. Psylocke again. I had to build her up to get Apocalypse. You do not have to. Jubilee, not anymore. They were a great raid team back in the day. One of the most fun raid teams ever to play with, and the most challenging raids to ever do was that Mutant section. But not anymore. Sabretooth, part of Weapon X. I still use my Weapon X to this day, but it's getting broken up more and more. They put X-23 on the Weapon X because they took Wolverine out of it. And now they're reworking Lady Deathstrike to go on the new tech team. So Sabretooth, he was a cheap option to bring it to Dark Dimensions and stuff like that, but his power's just faded at this point. And there's no real point in building Weapon X, so I wouldn't. Beast, old raid team, it's done for. Long Shot, Mischief Phil. I love the Long Shot. I still use them in war to beat Young Avengers when I see them on defense, but there's no real use for the dad bros anymore with Long Shot and Shatterstar. X-23 has got some interesting speed mechanics. She speeds up when you beat the enemy up, kind of thing, when you get kills and stuff like that. But her power just it really isn't there. I even have her at 3 diamond, and I don't have her leveled up that high. So no real point in bringing her up at this point unless she gets another rework. Dark Beast, part of that Death Seed team, that's a dead raid team at this point. Dazzler, you do not have to bring her up. I had to. Emma Frost. Emma Frost's passive gives either she lowers 10% speed on the opposite team, I think that is, or takes 10% speed away or something on spawn. So still useful. She's I think always going to be useful since the day she came out till now, for years and years now. I use her. I don't want to say every day, but I use her all the time, like all the time, in a million different things. So it's worth. She's a walking passive, so you don't have to go too high. You do have to use her in the Scourges with Cabal for Old Man Logan, but build her up just as high as you need to because she's a walking passive. Nemesis, you don't have to build anymore for Apocalypse like I did. Iceman, part of an old raid meta. Panda Pool, again, same thing with Deadpool. I wish my Deadpool was closer to this level. It's about as high. It's probably even higher than I really need. That whole entire team is Old Man Logan's. Same thing with Doc, and he's actually a really good character. So if you do bring him up, he's pretty powerful. He does some good stuff, but the whole team's Old Man Logan. So it's beating a dead horse with that, but the whole team's Old Man Logan. Kitty Pryde, old raid meta Storm, had her day in raid 5 years ago. Used to build up her charges early, on earlier nodes in the raid, and when she got into later nodes in the game, you would use her ultimate and wipe out a hard node or something like that. So had her day in the sun, but that was 5 years ago. Bishop, again, old raid team. They don't even have to bother with it. Phantom X, you're lucky you don't have to build him like I did to get Apocalypse. Sinister was the character that everybody said would never die because he clones. He would, based on his power level. So whatever power level he's at, he would make a clone of the opposite side of whatever character you picked, and then you'd have that character, which was amazing. But now his power is dead, and you could occasionally use him here and there, but don't build him now. There's no reason to. Great character for a long time though. Same thing with Phoenix. Phoenix was amazing. People still use her in Crucible a little bit, but I'm not putting the resources into her at this point. And you can see, I never really did. Silver Samurai is part of that Weapon X team. I always loved that team, but there's no point in building it now. Polaris and Shatterstar are part of the Dad Bros that you really don't need to build at this point. I know there's one of the Scourges where they help out in a section for a certain point, but it's not worth it to build it just for that. There's other ways around stuff. Colossus, dead character, Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Not anymore. That was years and years ago. Multiple Man, again, part of that Dad Bros team that's dead. Strife, it's been a long time since he was good. Magic, it was a weird release. They put her out there, and then really with no real team, they tried to rework her into something. I never built her, and you don't need to either. Cable, you can actually build, and I use him at this level, and I still use him at this level to this day. Cable has a speed mechanic where you can come in and rewind the opposing team. And he also has speed up on spawn, 5% speed up for the entire team. Kind of like an Emma Frost in their Kang. I think it's equal to Kang's bonus. Kind of thing. So you could use it just to make some of your characters go faster than the other team, and if you go first, you win. Kind of thing. I know they're trying to get away from the speed meta and go to a power meta in this game, but speed meta is still going to be around for a while. So Cable has use, but he has use at this level, so you don't really have to build him high. Domino's a no, Mystique's a no, Blob's a long time ago, Blob and Toad, and Pyro, and the Madeline Pryor, and that's it for Mutant. So thank you guys. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. I'm out.